Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, I think we are ready. I'm not wrong. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayat Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, continuing from verse number 40. Rupam tat mahadascharya विचक्षयागतम् साध्वशः ननामा दण्डवद् भूमौ प्रहृष्टात्मा प्रजापतिः. Seeing that wonderful and effulgent form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prajapati Daksha was first somewhat afraid. But then he was very pleased to see the Lord, and he fell to the ground like a stick to offer his respects to the Lord. न किञ्चनोदीरयितुम् असकत् तीव्रया मुदा अपूरिता मनोद्वारे हृदिन्याम् इव निर्झरैः. As rivers are filled with water flowing from a mountain, all of Daksha's senses were filled with pleasure. Because of his highly elevated happiness, Daksha could not say anything but simply remained flat on the ground. Tam dada vanatam bhaktam prajakamam prajapatim chittagnya sarvabhutanam idam aha janardanaha. Although Prajapati Daksha could not say anything, when the Lord who knows everyone's heart saw his devotee prostrate in that manner and desiring to increase the population, he addressed him as follows. Shri Bhagavan Prachetasah Mahabhaga Samsiddha Tapasa Bhavan Yachadaya Matparaya Mai Bhavam Param Gataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O most fortunate Prachetasa, because of your great faith in me, you have attained the supreme devotional ecstasy. Indeed, because of your austerities combined with exalted devotion, your life is now successful. You have achieved complete perfection. Pritoham te prajanatha yatte tasyo brahmanam tapaha mamaisa kamo bhutanam yad bhuyasur vibhutayah. My dear Prajapati Daksha, we have performed extreme austerities for the welfare and growth of the world. My desire also is that everyone within this world be happy. I am therefore very pleased with you because you are endeavoring to fulfill my desire for the welfare of the entire world. Brahma bhavo bhavantascha mano vibhudeshwaraha vibhutayo mama hiyeta bhutanam bhuti. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the Manus, all the other demigods in the higher planetary systems, and you, Prajapati, who are increasing the population, are working for the benefit of all living entities. Thus, you expansions of my marginal energy are incarnations of various qualities. Tapo me hridayam brahmams Tanurvidya kriya kritihi angani kritavo jatam dharma atma sabasuraha. My dear Brahmana, austerity in the form of meditation is my heart. Vedic knowledge in the form of hymns and mantras constitutes my body, and the spiritual activities and ecstatic emotions are my actual form. The ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, when performed, when properly conducted, are the various limbs of my body. The unseen good fortune proceeding from pious or spiritual activities constitute my mind, and the demigods who execute my orders in various departments are my life and soul. Aham evasam evagre nanyat kinchana kinchantaram bahihi samyana matram avyaktam prashuptam iva vishwataha. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, I alone existed with my specific spiritual potencies. Consciousness was then unmanifested, just as one's consciousness is unmanifested during the time of sleep. मयि अनन्तगुणे अनन्ते गुणतो गुणविग्रहः यथासि तत एवाद्य स्वयंभू समभूत अजः. I am the reservoir of unlimited potency, and therefore I am known as unlimited or all-pervading. From my material energy, the cosmic manifestation appeared within me, and in this universal manifestation appeared the chief being, Lord Brahma, who is your source and is not born of a material mother. सवै यदा महादेवो मम वीर्योपबृंहितः मेनेऽखिलम् इवात्मानम् उद्यतः स्वर्गकर्मणि अथ मे अभिहितो देवस्तपोतप्यतः दारुणं न वा विश्वसृजो युष्मान् येन द्वा असृजत् विभुः. When the chief Lord of the universe, Lord Brahma, Swayambhu, having been inspired by my energy, was attempting to create, he thought himself incapable. Therefore, I gave him advice, and in accordance with my instructions, he underwent extremely difficult austerities. Because of these austerities, the great Lord Brahma was able to create 9 personalities, including you, to help him in the function of creation. एषा पञ्चजनस्याङ्ग दुहिता वै प्रजापतेः असिग्नी नाम पत्नीत्वे प्रजेसा प्रतिगृह्यताम्. O my dear son Daksha, Prajapati Panchajana has a daughter named Asikni, whom I offer to you so that you may accept her as your wife. मिथुन व्यवाय धर्मस्त्वं प्रजा सर्गम इमं पुनः मिथुनं व्यवाय धर्मिण्यां भूरिशो भावयिष्यसि. Now unite in sexual life as man and woman, and in this way, by sexual intercourse, you will be able to beget hundreds of children in the womb of this girl to increase the population. त्वत्तो धस्तात् प्रजा सर्वा मिथुनी भूया मायया मदीयया भविष्यन्ति हरिष्यन्ति च मे बलिम्. After you give birth to many hundreds and thousands of children, they will also be captivated by my illusory energy and will engage like you in sexual intercourse. But because of my mercy to you and them, they will able they will also be able to give me presentations in devotion. Shri Sukha Uvacha Ityukta Mishatastasya Bhagavan Vishwabhavanaha Swapnopalabdharta Iva Tatraivantar Dade Harihi. Shukadeva Goswami continued. After the creator of the entire universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, had spoken in this way in the presence of Prajapati Daksha, he immediately disappeared as if he were an object experienced in a dream. Here ends the chapter. What are we reading? Sorry. Here ends this chapter 4 from the 6th canto, entitled The Hamsaguhya Prayers Offered to the Lord by Prajapati Daksha. Okay. It's very, very blessed moment for Daksha. Why? Because he had the opportunity to see the Lord. That too in a very unique form with 8 hands. Yesterday we were reading Sri Sukha Vacha iti stutah samstutvatah sa tasmin agramarshane. At this place agramarshane, he could see Pradur Asit Kuru Sreshta Bhagavan Bhakta Vatsalaha. Kritapada Supernamshe Pralambhashta Mahabhujah Chakra Sankasi Charmeshu Dhanuh Pasha Kadadhara Pitavasa Ganasyama Prasanna Vadanekshanaha Vanamala Nivitango Lasat Shrivatsa Kaustubaha Mahakirita Katakaha Spuran Makara Kundalaha Kanchi Anguliya Valaya Nupurangada Bhushita त्रैलोक्य मोहनम रूपम बिभृत त्रिभुवनेश्वरः ऋतो नारदानन्दाध्याय पार्षदै सुरयूतपै स्तूयमानो अनुगायभिः सिद्धगन्धर्वचाणरैः. So, having seen the Lord in this wonderful form, then he was saying, "Oh, Rupam Tad Mahad Ascharyam." This is wonderful form of the Lord, and Daksha actually Vichakshagata Sadavasa. Vichaksha means seeing. Agata Sadavasa. In the beginning, became afraid. Sadvasaha. And then Nanama. Then Nam. Yeah, Naman. Naman is to offer obeisances. Nanama Dandavat Bhumau. He fell on the floor, and in that ecstasy he just stayed like that for a while. Na kinchano dira yatum asakat tiryavara mudha apurita manodvair. Because of occupied torrents of feelings that came to him, Daksha could not say anything but simply remained flat on the ground. Um, in the purport, Prabhupada relates this or refers to another example in Bhagavatam where Dhruva Maharaj, when he had the darshan of the Lord, yeah, of course, he's a boy. One may say, okay, he struck wonder and he just saw, didn't know what to do. For example, when Dhruva Maharaj saw the Lord in his presence, he said, Swamin Kritarthosmi Varam na Yache. My dear Lord, I have nothing to ask from you. Now I am completely satisfied. Similarly, when Prajapati Daksha saw the Supreme Lord in his presence, he simply fell flat, unable to speak or ask for anything. Tam tathavanatam bhaktam. And Prajapati Daksha could not say anything. And when he was in that stage, Lord, who knows everything and knows definitely the purpose of one offering tapasya or prayers, he addressed him as follows. He addressed, "O most fortunate Prachetasaha." Prachetasaha, Prachi, here we are talking about who is the son of 10 Prachetas. That's why he is Prachetasa. And Mahabhaga, oh, you who are so fortunate. Why? Because he had the darshan of the Lord. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions, as the Lord himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita, one reaches the highest perfection when he attains the fortune of realizing the Supreme Lord. Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gatihi. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Therefore, that Krishna consciousness movement teaches one to follow the path toward the topmost perfection simply by performing devotional service. Pritoham te prajanatha, I am very pleased. You have performed extreme austerities for the welfare and growth of the world. My desire also is that everyone within this world be happy. I am therefore very pleased with you because you are endeavoring to fulfill my desire. So the Lord is happy when we are in sync with Lord's expectations. In the purport, Prabhupada refers why after every dissolution of material cosmos, all the living entities take shelter in the body of Karanadakashai Vishnu, and when creation takes place again, they come forth from his body in their various species to resume their activities. Why does the creation take place in such a way that living entities are put into conditional life? to suffer the threefold miseries? Here the Lord says to Daksha, you desire to benefit all living entities, and that is also my desire. That is in quotes. The living entities who come in contact with material world are meant to be corrected. All the living entities within this material world have revolted against the service of the Lord, and therefore they remain within this material world as ever conditioned, nitya baddha, taking birth again and again. There is a chance, of course, of their being liberated, but nevertheless, the conditioned soul not taking advantage of this opportunity continue in a life of sense enjoyment, and thus they are punished, birth and death, by birth and death again and again. In this purport, there is a further which is mentioned. Prajapati Daksha is trying to benefit the conditioned soul by begetting them to give them a life with a chance for liberation. So, why Lord is creating this is so that we can get a human form of life which is very rare, and in this rare chance, we don't mm, miss this chance of getting perfection of our life. And then the Lord is saying He is someone who is very pritoham. Following the examples of previous acharyas, all the members of Krishna consciousness movement should try to benefit the conditioned souls by inducing them to become Krishna conscious and giving them all facilities to do so. Such activities constitute real welfare work. By such activities, a preacher or anyone who endeavors to spread Krishna consciousness is recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the proof? Yeah, on Sunday we were going through this exact verse. Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshva abhidasyati bhaktim mayi param kritva mam evaisyati asamshayah. Nacha tasman manusheshu. This sloka we will cover next Sunday. Um, um, न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन्मे कृत्तम भविता न च मे तस्माद् अन्यः प्रियतरो bhuvi. For one who explains the supreme secret to devotees, devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. There is no service in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be ever be one more dear. Hmm. And then Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Manus, all the demigods in the higher planets, and you, Prajapatis, who are increasing the population, are working for the benefit of all living entities. There is this Tantra Nirnaya. In Tantra Nirnaya, Srila Madhvacharya is saying, Vishesha Vyakti Patratvat Brahmadhyastu Vibhutayah Tad Antaryaminaschaiva Matsyadhya Vibhava Smrita. From Lord Brahma down, all the living entities engaged in the service of the Lord are extraordinary and are called Vibhuti. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 10:41, Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam srimad urjitam eva va tattat evavagachatvam mama tejosmi sambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. And a living entity, especially empowered to act on the behalf of the Lord, is called Vibhuti. Whereas the Vishnu Tattva incarnations of the Lord, such as Matsya Avatar, Keshava Drita, Meena Sharira, Jaya Jagadish Hare, are called Vibhava. Vibhuti means a living entity, especially empowered to act on the behalf of the Lord, is called Vibhuti. And who is called Vibhava? The Lord's Vishnu incarnations, Vishnu Tattva incarnations are called Vibhava. There is Vibhava, there is Prabhava, all are the expansions of the Lord. Vilasa is also expansion of the Lord from the Vishnu Tattvas. Tapo me hridayam brahmastanur vidya kriyat kriti angani kritavo jata dharma atma savah surah. So he's saying, engage in this process of creation, and then for that matter, I will what in the verse number 47, Aham evasam evagre. Before creation of this cosmic manifestation, I alone existed with my specific spiritual potencies. Consciousness was then unmanifested, but as one's consciousness is unmanifested, just like in sleep, consciousness, there is subconsciousness, but not the actual consciousness. Hmm? In Katha Upanishad, there is Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Hmm? The Lord is the supreme eternal among innumerable eternals, hmm? And the supreme living being among the innumerable living beings. The Lord is a person who also has impersonal features. Vadanti tat tattvavid tattvat yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabhyate. Hmm. So the learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Hmm. So in this way, the Lord was existing before and existing after. And there is one nice word used here is Brahmalina, means merging into the Supreme Brahman. Is not actually Lina or annihilation. When we say merging means it's not like we lose our identity. No. Um, because the subtle form remaining in the Brahman effulgence will return to the material world after the material creation and again assume a material form. This is described in Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. When the material body is annihilated, the spirit soul remains in the subtle form, which later assumes another material body. This is the truth for true. This is true for the conditioned souls, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead remains eternally in his original consciousness and spiritual body. Hmm. And then there is going further explanation. Savayada Mahadevo Mahaviryo Brahmita Mene Kilam Avatmanam Udyata Swarga Karmani. He's saying, when the chief lord of the universe, who is that? Lord Brahma, Swayambhu, having been inspired by my energy, was attempting to create, he thought himself incapable. Therefore, I gave him advice, and in accordance to my instructions, he underwent extreme difficult austerities. So, in the purport, I don't know if Navina Mataji is there or Parth Prabhu. Yeah, we were discussing about tapasya, right? Here it is said in the purport, nothing is possible without tapasya. Lord Brahma, however, was empowered to create this entire universe because of his austerities. The more we engage in austerity, which is tapasya, the more we become powerful by the grace of the Lord. Therefore, Rishabhadev advised his sons, Tapo Divyam Putraka Yena Sattva Suddhe. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified. This is from the. Did I open? Manage to open. Yeah, it opened. नायम देहो देहभाजाम नृलोके कष्टान कामान अर्हते विद्भुजाम ये तपो दिव्यम पुत्रका येन सत्वम शुद्धेत यस्मात् ब्रह्म सौख्यम त्व अनंतम ब्रह्म सौख्यम अनंतम he attains eternal blissful life which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. When, when one performs, one should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. Now, this is in Bhagavatam 5, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse 1. And then, 1 second. Yes. एष पंच एष पञ्चजनस्याङ्ग दुहिता वै प्रजापतेः असिग्नि नाम पत्नीत्वे प्रजेशा प्रतिगृह्यताम्. Engage. I bless you with the daughter of Panchajana as your wife. Asikni, whom you can accept as wife, and then you can increase the population. And in the verse, Lord is saying to engage in the normal intercourse, sexual intercourse. And why in the purport Prabhupada mentions, or Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur is saying, remarks in this connection that Daksha was given the facility for unlimited sexual intercourse. Why? In Daksha's previous life, he was also known as Daksha, but in the course of performing sacrifices, he offended Lord Shiva, and thus his head was replaced with that of a goat. Then Daksha gave up his life because of his degraded condition, but because he maintained the same unlimited sexual desires, he underwent austerities by which he satisfied the Supreme Lord, who then gave him unlimited potency for sexual intercourse. That's what. In this regard, there is further explanation. It should be noted that although such a facility for sexual intercourse is achieved by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this facility is not offered to advanced devotees who are free from material desires. So, in one way, we can see Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Anya Abhilashita. There are no other desires for a devotee. For such a devotee, Lord is not giving, oh, no, 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 go and engage in sexual enjoyment life. No. Hmm. In this connection, it may be noted that if the American boys and girls engage in the Krishna consciousness movement, want to advance in Krishna consciousness to achieve the supreme benefit of loving service to the Lord, they should refrain from indulging in the facility for sex life. Therefore, we advise that one should act least should therefore we advise one should at least refrain from illicit sex. Even if are opportunities for sex life, one should voluntarily accept the limitation of having sex only for progeny, not for any other purpose. Anyway, this is further explaining, and then one should not think that Daksha received the favor of the Lord by receiving the facilities for unlimited sex. Later verses will reveal that Daksha again committed an offense, this time at the lotus feet of Narada. Therefore, although sex life is topmost enjoyment in the material world, and although one may have opportunity for sex enjoyment by the grace of God, this entails a risk of committing offenses. Daksha was open to such offenses, and therefore, strictly speaking, he was not actually favored by Lord. One should not seek the favor of the Lord for unlimited potency in sex life. So one may not think, oh, yeah, I have desires, what to do? Oh, come on, let's offer our sincere prayers to the Lord. And then, so may Lord, you please give me all facilities, because even Lord doesn't appreciate such mm, blessings. Why? Because it entangles one to take birth again, and commit offenses again and again. And in this way, Shukadeva Goswami is concluding, is saying, after the creator of the entire universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari had spoken in this way in the presence of Prajapati, he immediately disappeared as if he were an object experienced in a dream. Hare Krishna. Hmm. Okay, let's see, are there any thoughts or questions? Yes, no? Okay, good. Then we have finished our chapter 4, the wonderful prayers of Daksha, which he learned. These were offered by Lord Brahma. And yeah, then we were talking about curse. What is that? What happened to Daksha that he had incurred a curse from a great devotee like Narada, or even Narada Muni himself? Why did it happen? This is what we will discuss. Hmm. Uh, Very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Good. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौरव